Good afternoon and welcome to Notre Dame. I'm Brady Quinn, class of 2007 and a blessed member of the Notre Dame family. Today is a historic day following a historic week for our university. And I'm honored to be here with you to celebrate and present the present and the future of Notre Dame football. Father John Jenkins and Jack will each share a few words before we hear from Coach Marcus Freeman. And you'll have an opportunity to ask questions to Jack Swarbrick, Marcus Freeman, and several student athletes. Jack will kick this off in just a few moments. But first, take it away, band.
Welcome. What a great day to be Irish. We are pleased to have you join us today as we officially introduce Notre Dame's new head coach and his family. It's especially fitting that today's program begin with remarks from University President Father John Jenkins. It's Father Jenkins' leadership that ensures that Notre Dame athletics remains integrated into the educational mission of the university, as much or more so than any university in America. It is the leading characteristic of the department and ultimately defines most of the decisions we make, including hiring our head coach. And it is Father Jenkins who, along with other key members of the university leadership, ensure that the hiring process that allows us to be here today, less than 1 week after being notified we would have a vacancy, is free from undue influence or interference, and a circumstance that is increasingly rare in college athletics. As you would imagine, Father John and I were in frequent communication last week. However, our ability to do so was complicated by the fact that he was in Rome. I understood that resulted in a lot of sleep deprivation for me, but I, on the other hand, was comforted by the fact that his location might produce the extra measure of spiritual guidance needed to make sure we got the right result. Please welcome University of Notre Dame's 17th president, John Jenkins.
Thank you, Jack, and greetings to all present today, as well as those watching online. On behalf of our students, our faculty, our staff here in South Bend, and at our Notre Dame gateways across the globe, I extend our warmest congratulations to Marcus Freeman, to Joanna, and their lovely children there. It is a great day for Notre Dame as we welcome our new head coach. You know, the story of Notre Dame football includes numerous national championships, legendary coaches, All-American players, and NFL Hall of Fame alumni. Yet the heart of Notre Dame football is a set of values reflective of this educational institution. They include faith, acting with integrity, a commitment to the academic success and the personal growth of our student athletes, a commitment to team over oneself, a commitment to service in the world, and all of those are combined with a determination to compete at the very highest level in college football. When we undertook this search, Jack Swarbrick and I knew we needed a head coach who not only embraced but even embodied those values. We found that coach in Marcus Freeman. Last week during our search, as Jack mentioned, I was in Rome. I wasn't consulting on the search, but I had some previously scheduled meetings. When I interviewed Coach Freeman by Zoom from my hotel room, my first question was simply, "Why do you coach?" He gave me a characteristically honest and thoughtful answer. He said he got into coaching after his NFL career was abruptly cut short by a medical diagnosis of an enlarged heart. He loved football and wanted to stay around the excitement of the game, and coaching would allow him to do that. However, as he did the job, he said he found the really gratifying part was a chance to work with young men, help them achieve their goals, and grow into mature, responsible adults who will better the lives of the people around them. Marcus Freeman is clearly someone who influences young people by showing he cares about them, winning their trust, inspiring them, and challenging them to do great things. Anyone who saw the video of his introduction to the team last Friday has seen the impact he has had at Notre Dame after just 1 year. He lives the educational ideals that are at the heart of this program and this university. Thank you, Marcus, for accepting the challenge to lead our team. Another person who lives those ideals is our athletic director, Jack Swarbrick, whom I have had the privilege to work with as a colleague, leading our athletics department for the past almost 14 years. I thank him for his leadership of this department and for this very successful search. Thank you.
Thank you, Father John, for your words and leadership. Now I'd like to formally present to everyone Notre Dame's 12th athletics director and a 1976 graduate of the University of Notre Dame, University Vice President, and James E. Rohr, Director of Athletics, Jack Swarbrick.
Thanks, Brady. Thank you very much. I will be brief so we can get to the main event here. But I wanted to offer an insight into the search and thank a few key people. First, however, I want to echo Father John's greeting to Marcus's family. They're, of course, not new to us. They've been with us for a year. But the energy and dynamism that they will bring to our football family going forward is a really exciting part of this. Much has been written in the past few days suggesting that the members of our football team selected their head coach. That's not true. And in a way, it diminishes what Coach Freeman has achieved. In a highly competitive environment, with lots of excellent choices available to us, Marcus won the job. He won the job in the way he prepared himself through each of his coaching experiences. He won it during the past year when I was able to observe him as a colleague, coach, mentor, and educator. And he won it in his interviews with me, Father Jenkins, and the others who participated in that process. Having said that, I do want to acknowledge the critically important role that our student athletes played in this process. There are moments in this job that can be exceptionally challenging, but they are more than offset by special moments, moments of extraordinary privilege, the sort of moments that define this university. One of those moments occurred last Tuesday at 2:15 in the afternoon. It was then that Ron Paulus and I met with the 7 captains of this year's football team, who are seated in the second row up front here. It's a standard part of the process whenever I hire a head coach at Notre Dame that I spend time with the leadership of the program, the student athletes, to get their input. These gatherings are not to solicit candidate names or evaluate candidates. It is instead to discuss the characteristics that we ought to have in a future head coach. After I introduced this topic to the team captains, they explained they had a different agenda. They were passionate, they were articulate, they were convincing, but what they insisted I understand was that they had built the best culture in college football. That they have friends playing at other places around the country. They have a way to make that assessment, and they were confident that this culture in this program was the best in the country. But they also wanted me to know that they owned that culture. They built it. It was theirs. And their message, stated clearly and convincingly, was, Jack, don't screw this up. I got the message. In short, they convinced me that I had 2 separate tasks in front of me. One was to select the best possible coach to lead the program. The other was to protect the culture they had built. It was an unusual situation to be in and took me down 2 parallel paths. It was, for example, the protection of the culture that led me to make the unusual decision to make a commitment to our Director of Performance, Matt Bayless, that regardless of who became the head coach, he, the Minister of Culture, if you would stay in his position. It was the same motivation that caused me to begin parallel negotiations with a critical part of this team and this culture, Tom Rees, before I knew for sure who the head coach would be. To be sure, the perspective that those 7 captains offered to me put a heavy finger on the scale in favor of Coach Freeman. But that was only because they and I believed so strongly that Marcus is the perfect guardian of the very special culture you, the student athletes, have built. When reflecting on my time as Notre Dame's athletic director, I certainly remember the special victories and some of the agonizing defeats. But most of all, I remember the moments like those 45 minutes spent with 7 young men, extraordinary people representative of the student athletes at this university that I have the privilege of working with every day. Now, a few thank yous. In addition to Father John for his leadership and support throughout this process, I want to thank the other members of the university leadership who were involved, with special thanks to Tricia Belia, our faculty athletic rep, who is always such a great source of counsel and advice during processes like this. I want to thank the members of the War Cabinet, 3 people who never left my side for 4 days, despite the fact there were a lot of times I think they wanted to. That includes Ron Paulus, the Associate Athletics Director and Sport Administrator for football, Jenny Borg, an advisor to me in charge of athletic strategy and culture, and Aaron Horvath, Assistant Athletics Director for communication. And finally, Katie Lonergan, Assistant Director of Football Communications for Notre Dame, who took on a whole host of assignments during this week and did all of them exceptionally well. They and many others brought us to this day, but what most significantly brought us to this day in such short order was that we had available to us the best possible candidate in America to lead this program and protect this culture and serve this university. Ladies and gentlemen, the 30th head coach of the University of Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman.
A lot of people here. All right. To Father John and Jack Swarbrick, I am forever grateful for this opportunity to lead this football program. I'm ready. I'm ready for this challenge, and I'm ready to lead this program to the greatest heights. The chance to lead the football program at the University of Notre Dame is an opportunity of a lifetime, and I would never take that for granted. Being this leader of this program, it isn't about one person, and it never will be. Being the leader of this program is about understanding to be successful on this journey, it's going to take others, and we're going to have to do this as a team. And that's why doing it at the University of Notre Dame is so special. It's special because of the people. The people here make this opportunity special. The people that are currently here, the students, the faculty, the countless other people that step on this campus, the people that have come through Notre Dame and have planted themselves throughout the world, the Notre Dame network that at any moment, for any reason, will find you a solution. The players. I was looking for a term to describe you, and Katie helped me come up with one that really exemplifies what you are. You're exceptional thinkers. You're exceptional thinkers. You never look for the easy path. You never take most of you never take shortcuts. You're tireless workers, and you're committed to excellence in everything you do, and that's what separates you. Over the past few days, I've spoken to a lot of leaders that I respect for any advice on being a first-time head coach, and the answer has all been the same. Just be you. So who is Marcus Freeman? Well, I'm the son of a man who was in the Air Force for 26 years. I'm the son of a woman who was born in Korea that came over here in 1976. But I tell you that because that's who I am. I get my discipline, my work ethic, my honesty from my father. I get my unselfishness and other-centered focus from my mother. And that's exactly how I'll lead this football program. We will be disciplined. We will be tough. We will work tirelessly. But we will do it with the understanding that no one person, no one coach is more important than another. And as a team and as a family, we'll accomplish all of our goals. I plan on leading this team with an unwavering standard. We will call it the golden standard. So what is the golden standard? Number one is challenge everything. This is why I'm here. Our leaders challenge normalcy. Our athletic director, our president, challenge normalcy. Challenge everything is a mentality to find a better way. Number two is unit strength. Unit strength means love. It's making a choice to love your teammates. It's what turns players into a team. And number three is the competitive spirit. It's creating a winner's mindset. I believe that leaders are born, but winners are created. And you're created through intentional actions. And as I previously stated, this standard will be unwavering. And this is the standard that will drive this football program to its 12th national championship. Lastly, there's a few thank yous I want to give. I want to start with my wife, Joanna. My wife, my partner. Thank you for your unselfishness. Thank you for always being there and your support most of the time. You can be my toughest critic, but thank you for just being there. To my kids, Benny, Sienna, Gino, Rocco, Capri, Nico. Sorry, I got all six. There he is. You didn't ask for this. You didn't ask to share your dad, but you have to. And I love you. To Father Jenkins, Jack Swarbrick, Thank you for challenging everything. Thank you for making a decision to believe in a 35-year-old first-time head coach. And I vow to work tirelessly to never disappoint you. I'll be back there laughing either. All right, to the Board of Trustees and countless others that approved my hire, thank you. My current and former players, you are my why. You are my motivation. You are the reason I get up every day and work as hard as I can. To see you all reach your goals, to see you all set a goal and live out a dream is what gives me my inspiration every day to do what I do. Last but not least, my parents. I've kind of told you their story, but I just want you to know when others say, just be yourself, I am me because of you. In closing, I'm ready to get to work. My sense of urgency is for right now. It's to make sure that this team is prepared on January 1st in the Fiesta Bowl to be victorious versus Oklahoma State. And that's where our focus will be.